guest speakers. But I'm very excited that we have Gayle Rappaport Weiland. She's an out-of-town guest. She used to be very involved in the Rockland and Placer art community. Before RFA was formed, we had these.
There's what's on the screen.
We had the city sponsoring the arts, and so Gayle was involved with that, along with Connie Omens for the theater arts, and Judy Larson, who was the city employee liaison who ran the student show, not student show, Snowflake show.
Is this going to screw us up?
And it coincided at the same time that Rock said, I want to have an art club here in Rockland. So the city was kind of looking for an art club volunteers to run it. Jared was looking for the city to sponsor it, and we were called Art Matters. And then we that started our support with the city. But Gayle has been instrumental in getting art as and a commonly used word in Placer County. So she is a teacher at Sierra College, and as you saw when you're asking like, ooh, what's that? She's very open with her knowledge. And so we're really lucky that she's going to share with us today.
Because I stayed an extra 2 days actually to do this. Okay.
And
Okay, you can see the paper.
Susie and I have both taken classes, and Gayle has a curriculum of what she's doing, but you'll walk away with more information. And then maybe she'll teach business of art again.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Because those are fabulous classes.
But could we do that on Zoom, Linda, like possibly? Because a
Yeah.
business of art, we don't have to do, and I am doing a Zoom class in June, also through Sierra and Cuesta. But yeah, business of art class is really, really good. I don't know if I really need this, but potentially I'm gonna do this.
So I'll let Gayle introduce herself, because she has so much more, but she does have a long history of working with the Placer Studio Tour.
23 years and Linda and I showed together.
And bringing artists together, TV shows, radio shows, really an art advocate. So we'll turn it over to Gayle.
Okay.
Please, one mic, that Gayle should be the only one talking, no sidebar conversation. Please turn off your cell phones.
Okay, so, and I don't even know where I put my cell phone, but I'm gonna take it. Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna take a picture of a little setup, because the other thing that's cool, and Jackie, are you gonna want to be on it? Took a picture of you, Jackie. You know, if you're not on social media, you need to be. That's my one business of art. Okay, you need to be on social media. So if you picked up one of my brochures, all my social media is on here. Okay, join me. I do a lot of artsy tips, etc., etc. And you know, I'm always there. This is I'm gonna give this little free giveaway out, and I'll pick a number or a color or something, but I'm not gonna do it till the end. So if you leave before the end, you're not gonna get this. And what it is, it's really cool. It's core watercolors with a little piece of paper in it. I'm a golden artist educator, and I'm a silver brush artist educator. And so I get to have these little things to do as free giveaways. Okay. And so the reason I chose doing this demo is because I can show you a lot of product and a lot of stuff. And it's just loosey-goosey, have fun, okay? And so just to show you, and I know I'm not on that things, but the only one that's missing it is Jackie. You're fine, Jackie.
So you can make that so that Jackie goes to a little corner and just your thing shows.
Tell them I don't know how to do that. Linda, they want Jackie to be small. And for me to be big. Sorry, Jackie, love you, you know that.
Usually they want me to be quiet.
But I wanted to show you options because what I'm doing here, whether you love it or whether you hate it, we're cutting it up. Okay, so it's very free. So you can do what's going to be abstract, but what it's really about is color. Okay, so this one was what I'm doing here, but I ended up using paper on canvas. And then mat board, this is silk mat board. And then this is upside down, but you can't really, I only know that because of the heart. This is canvas board. So do you see how I've created a 3D option with what I'm demonstrating for you? Here, I created an option under glass. Okay, just giving you a framing tip, because like Linda says, I always give more information than I need to, but it's like just one of my sicknesses. You see there's spacer bar. When you're framing, glass has acid in it. You don't want to put glass directly on the paper. Right? Little tip. Then, and these we do in my greeting card class, I have created with these weavings, and you see they're all different. Small greeting cards. So, how many of us have that pile of old paintings? And you can cut them up and make weavings out of it. And, you know, so there's many options, and this is a creative group. You know, I'm giving you the tool here, but you can get as creative, you know, as you are, okay? And then on this one, I'm going to create one. I did a pour on the back of here, and my intention for the demo was to have something ready and then stick the weaving that I do on here. Okay, and so again, and this isn't the typical pour. I actually pour it and then I pull and I paint back into it, yada, yada, yada. But just get another artsy tip. This is one of those, God knows what's under boards at Michael's, you know, when everything goes on 90% off, because it has an edge. So when you're pouring, it's not going to go anywhere. So that's kind of a fun tip too. So now I'm leaving. That was the demo. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. So then, and I brought something that was dry because I'm going to on here. Yeah, okay. Is that a plug that I'm near a dryer? No? Well, that's not going to be too far. So I'm just deciding of how much stuff I can put on for you if I can't dry it. So now I need my water. All right, so when you're working dry, it's dry brush. Who's never painted before? Okay, all right. And there's an empty seat here and there's an empty seat up front. Those people that are way in the back, because I'm, you know, I would come closer if you can. Yeah, I would. There's another seat up here. Linda, why don't you come up so that I can harass you? Come on. So, and I'm going to be using my silver brushes. And you picked up pamphlets, and see, this is why I'm so bad. And this is a new brush. You want to like clean your brushes and be really good about it, but I use them teaching and I'm going to throw them. But if you put a brush away like this, it's going to stay like that. Brushes have memory. You actually do not want to dry your brushes like this because the water will go down in here and then crackle the paint off. You've seen that. And so, but this silver silk 88 line, and again, I get nothing for you buying this stuff, could care less, all right? But it's on Amazon, but it's a really decent, affordable line. And I do believe that, you know, I had brochures up there. This is one of my personal favorites. So you want to use your largest brush that you can when you're starting, especially as a wash brush to put water on. Because you want to bake the cake before you put the frosting on. And if you know, are trying to get water on with this brush, yeah, we're gonna have a burn. So, and remember, and I'm trying to do this other piece. So this is like just a painting, which is what I'm going to cut up because it's going to be dry, but that just has lots of stuff on it. And again, I just didn't know our drawing time, so I figured it didn't really matter what I cut up for you. In watercolors, you're working light to dark. It looks like part of my sweater is on this paper. If I go and start picking it out, I'm going to have digs in my paper. I'm going to have spots. So you don't want to do that. You want to let it dry because then it'll just wipe off. I also, oops, don't leave that in the water, wanted to show you these. These are small and they're great and they're travel sets by Core. The difference between Core watercolors, and I'm not saying one is better than the other, Core watercolors or regular like Winsor Newton, anything quality. Core is bound with Aquasol, and regular watercolors are bound with gum arabic, but you can mix them, it doesn't matter. I find that the Core watercolors have more pigment, okay? But they also, because they have so much more pigment, if you're working dry brush and you're trying to move it quickly, often you'll get a hard line. Have you noticed that? You know? And so again, each kind has a quality that may be good for one thing and not good for another. So let's take just some of this iridescent stuff. And I'm still using, and I don't know how much you can see, and it's all light colors, but it's just going to give me a little sparkle in there. And I'm just using everybody just because it's a big brush. And like I said, we're going to be cutting it up, but I don't think you can see much of that. This is my favorite Core color. Okay. Is my teal. Love this color. And you know, I could actually do this with my eyes closed because why? I am going to be cutting it up. Unity of color. If I put a color one place, and I will be looking at this as a juror, and I think you'll notice this in my own work. If I put a color one place, I'm going to put it someplace else because it'll move your eye. Okay, and again, I don't have to think about composition on this one. Why? Because I'm cutting it up. I just have to think about fun colors, and I'm going for the fun colors. And I had no predisposition, honestly, about what colors I was using today. I actually am you see, I paint angels. I'm a very intuitive painter. I just paint what I feel. For the business of art part, everything sells eventually. I have sold more than thousands of paintings. I was just at the chiropractor in Auburn because I still love him. And if you need a great chiropractor, Dr. Parks in Auburn. And he's been a great collector. And, you know, Connie, his wife, was walking me through saying, oh, you have to, you know, see, I mean, my favorite painting that we got from me, I mean, it's from 1990. So I am an ageless goddess. I am still here. That's what we need to call ourselves, and titans out there. Okay, so I'm getting color everywhere. You see where it's wet? It's moving and doing its thing. You can use a toothbrush, and my toothbrush is in my other thing, and I don't want to get up and get it. So if you didn't bring your toothbrush, get this watery. See, I can just, you know, and this is a lot of fun. Having a very good time with that. So then I can keep getting smaller on my brushes. Let's go for a really small brush now, a liner brush. So a liner brush is going to give me some more line work in there, but because it's wet, it's going to move. When I put the brush down harder, it gets thicker. As I lift my hand, it gets lighter. And again, I could care absolutely less as to what's in there or what kind of lines I'm making, because again, I'm going to be cutting it up. So what you want in there is contrast. You can get way darker as you as it dries back. So here I have some Neo color, they're watercolor crayons. So this is kind of dry here, so I'll do it over here, and I'm assuming you can see. And if I put water to these, then they move. But I need to put water to them.
I'm gonna play this.
Okay. And then they move. I can put that on there wet also, on top of the wet. And it's not moving as much because it's already kind of pushing into the paper. You can also use oil-based pastels. They won't move. So I'm going to get, and I'm trying to put things kind of in a dry area so that I don't have to go dry this. But see, an oil-based pastel is heavier, and it will break and go through the wet. And again, what do you have to lose by trying stuff? Especially, like I said, which this is going to totally free you up. And I want to, you got me? Okay. Okay, you can take a spray bottle with water. That will move your paint. So a spray bottle will push your paint. Salt will absorb it. Okay, the reason, and this is just a little bit of a technical reason, the reason I don't use salt, though I've talked to like the heads up at paper companies and this and that, and they say if you're using good paper and good paint, salt won't eat through your paper. It eats through your cars, you know, and metal. So I won't do it on anything that I'm selling, other than maybe a greeting card or something I'm going to take a print of, because it is a great, it's an absolutely great technique. But I don't want to, I have a great deal of integrity and I'm still here. And so I don't want people to come back to me and say, well, you know, I would like to return this painting because it has holes in it. So this is alcohol, not the kind you drink. And this will push the paint rather than absorb it.
Just like that.
Well, no, not just like alcohol. You see, it's hard to see, I think, on here. Yeah, it is. It's just making a little blub.
What kind of alcohol is that?
It's just rubbing alcohol.
Okay, did you transfer it in that box?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did.
90 or 70?
90 is better. this is probably
It's
70.
harder to find too.
Yeah, it's harder to find, especially after COVID, you know? And so, I'm gonna do some things on here for a minute, because I want to show you some other things, but this needs to be dry. So, I'm just gonna put this on top, okay? And so that'll dry eventually, because I want to show you product, because I think that's the fun thing to see. And I'm gonna use my palette knife. So this is, if you've not seen, have you seen pearl mica? Okay, this is, some of you yes, some of you no. This is basically glitter in a glue. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can buy the golden stuff because it's easier, it's already done. Or you can buy some glitter and put it in glue, you know? But it's very cool. I can put it on super thin like that. I can put it on real thick. Okay, and again, the other thing about looking at my finished work, you go, oh, well, that's where she used that, you know, so it'll make a little more sense. But again, if I'm cutting this up and unity of color, you know, I want it when I start cutting stuff up in several places. And just give me what time, so I, you know, I can fill 6 hours. What time am I gearing towards, Linda?
About 12 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this is called black mica flake. Okay, and in those pamphlets that you gave out, if you look like, if you picked up the texture one, all this stuff is in there. Okay, and so you will be able to see it all. And so this is going to have a nice, can you see this on like back there? And obviously it's going to show better on a lighter color. And when that dries out a little bit, you know, I'll do some on there too. Okay, so which did I do? Put them over here. Oh, where's the? Okay, and this is, am I getting a little drier here? Yeah, I'll put this over here now, because this is starting to dry out. This is fiber paste, and it's really cool. It's basically, how do I say, if you, who's made paper, like who's a paper maker here? Anybody? Okay. And you should do a paper making class, by the way. We'll talk about that after. But you see, my head goes a million directions, and I try to help people. So, so basically, it's that stuff when you're doing the paper making in the blender, again, in glue. So it's fiber paste. And see, look how cool that is, because I had that other mica on here. And now it's in my fiber paste.
So if you have just the powder, the mica powder, you know, you said, oh, golden makes it for yourself. I mean, for you already. And what would you mix it with when you're putting on there? If you have just the powder, the mica powder.
You can put it in gel medium
Okay, anything or just that.
or just the fiber paste. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I put this on here. I can put color on there when it's wet, or I can put color on there when it's raw. And so let me get a brush. And when you're using your good brushes, and often, honestly, when I use this stuff and it's just, it's not enough space to put everything I want out, I wouldn't tend to use my better brushes, because again, these are glue and acrylic based. So you want to make sure to get that brush washed out, okay, or else, you know, you're going to ruin your nice brush. But I can watch how the color is going to take over that. And it will look different. I'll save some to show you how it's going to look dry. Let me get a darker color so you can see it a little better. So I don't know if you can see that, you can see the texture. and it just creates more texture. And you see what the alcohol started doing here. So, and if I kind of put some color around that alcohol, which is negative painting the donut to create the hole, almost have like a flower look there. Okay. So I'm popping that out a little bit. Okay, let's see what other fun stuff we have to put on here. And again, I'll put everything but the kitchen sink on here because I'm gonna cut it up. What do I care, And then I'd have to leave time to cut it up. This is coarse alumina. It's a little bit grayer, and if you want to read the qualities and exactly what's in it, like that's why I gave out those pamphlets. Let's see. And what you want to think about, I'm showing you on something that we can cut up. What you want to think about is where would this work on a painting? Shout it out. Come on. Where?
Shadow.
Well, it could be shadows, yes.
Street.
A street. Think of texture. Where do you need
Rocks.
rocks?
Sand.
Sand, okay, because that's hard, to paint all these little dots. But here, you can use products. So those of you who aren't mixed media people, think mixed media. Product is your friend. I love mixed media. Okay, so this I want to show you just because it's a really fun new product. And again, you get to see product. This is called So Flat by Golden. Who are my acrylic painters? Anybody? Okay, so you know how generally, even before you varnish it, your acrylics are a little shiny. This is flat. I mean, it is flat. It is matte. And what's really nice for my acrylic painters here, if you want something matte next to something shiny, it is a very nice look. And so I'm just going to put this on again with the palette knife because I have the palette knife in my hand. And it's going to put some of that other stuff in it because it's on there. And look how that pops because I mix watercolor and acrylic. Look how nicely that pops because it's a dark against light and this is more opaque. Watercolor is more transparent. Go ahead.
Okay, did it come with that color in it or you mixed it?
No, this is the color. I have a couple of them. I'm gonna show you. No, these are yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. No, I brought a couple.
And what's it called again?
So, S-O flat. And with your,
Is that a new product?
yeah, it is. With your phones, if you want to take pictures of any of this, but it should be in all that stuff that I gave. Okay, and so look at this yummy color. And see how fun this one's coming? Again, I had no intention of what I was doing. This is all fairly random. But then I want to show you, because that's opaque, right? But your watercolor, thank you, acrylics, and you want to really wash your brush out. Did I use the yellow too? I didn't use the yellow. You really want to wash your brush out very, very well. And just for fun, just going to show you other brushes. This is a bristle-on cat's tongue. And so it looks like a cat. It's tongue. And watch. See, I can bring this out and make it transparent, just like a watercolor. The difference between using this transparently as a watercolor, which you can use your acrylics transparently, is they will dry like plastic. you cannot lift them. Whereas watercolor, you have a lifting option. With acrylic, once this dries, your party is over. Okay. So what else? Again, this is an iridescent acrylic. Yeah, these are really fun. And again, look how yummy this is getting. And just think of, because we are going to cut this baby up. But do you see how I do it a little bit everywhere? Because even when I cut it up, I'm going to want that unity to come through. And again, this will what's the word? This will also move. And so if you just want an iridescent feel and you want to glaze over something that's already there, and so you see how I'm getting an iridescent there, just by glazing over something that's already there. And again, you can do the, with your palette paper, that you're using rather than throwing it out. You can even be ripping it up and collaging it into other paintings. A class, and you all know Jenny Krepp, she's a good friend of mine. A class we did when she had her gallery, which was a great class, and we're talking about trying to do it together again, is make a good painting a masterpiece. And people would bring their paintings that, they were fine, but we worked with them using all this different kind of stuff to make them a great painting, and so that's something, again, you want Ginny and I to put together. Nudge Ginny.
I think she talked about that.
Yeah.
At that class. No, wasn't it? It was the tour,
Okay,
and I happened to be there working.
Yeah.
At the, yeah.
Yeah,
and she
it-
talked about getting together.
yeah,
and wanting
yeah,
to do that.
yeah, we talked about it, we had breakfast and then we don't do it, but, so these are interference colors. Basically, they flip, and again, read about it so depending on how you look at it, the color looks one way and then it flips to the complement. It's very, very cool. And so again, like I said, the good news is, I'm watching my clock, kids. The good news is that you're getting to see lots of product. And see, if I mix it on there, it can change the color a bit. And you actually, to see the difference, you actually have to move the paper. But it has a really cool quality. And think about it, let's say you're doing, what's it called? Chrome on a car, Okay, and then, oh, this is dry. Well, it's not quite dry, because I wanted to go over certain things for you that were dry. And so this, like I said, I tried to bring everything under, the kitchen sink here to try to show you lots of different stuff. So this, and so I'm gonna definitely have to cut this one off because I think this is gonna be way too wet.
Are you a rep for Golden?
I'm not a rep, I'm a golden artist educator. And so how I became
And they
that,
send you a lot of the products? Or-
yeah, well, I get points, I get points for when I teach classes, depending on the number of people I have in the class. I build points over the years, and yeah, I get free product.
So how do you get to do that?
I don't, well, they haven't done it since pre-COVID, but it is a very challenging. First of all, you have to teach at least X amount of classes a year, and I think at the time when I got in, it was like 40 or something, which I was teaching that many classes. And it's a submission all over the world. And they picked 20 artists. And by the grace of God, I got picked. And you got to go to, and this is now 8 years ago, I think. You got to go to New Orleans, and we spent 7 days, and I had to pay like a $500 stipend, but everything else was supplied, the hotel, the product, and I was with 20 other, I mean, you know, people who wrote books for Northlight. I mean, like, we're talking, you know, and so I was honored personally. I didn't know why I was there, but I was quite honored. And what we did, honestly, is we spent the entire week, which a lot of you have seen them at my classes, making storyboards in a sense of what these products look like and how they work and da 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 da. Because, I mean, really think about it, it's marketing genius. I'm showing you all the product. I don't get anything out of it, but you may go buy their product. And the same thing at classes. And so they want to be nice to the people who are essentially marketing for them. And then Silverbrush jumped on the wagon because they realized what a good thing it was. And they invited Golden Artist Educators, which now there are quite a few all over the world, you know, and invited us to see if we wanted to be part of that program. And some of us did, and some of us didn't. And actually, I'll be demonstrating for them when I get back one of the brushes, and each of us as artists for that group, we demonstrate every month the use of the brushes. And yeah, so it's quite cool, and I'm very, very honored. And I love that I used their product before. I was a Golden Artist Educator. Their product, if you can afford it, it's the best. You know, they're a artist-centric company. It's hands down the best product. So basically, this is High Flow. It's an acrylic. I just want to show it to you. I'm not going to put it in here because I don't want to get it on the carpet or mess things up. But you can put it in these markers, you know, and you buy it a set like that, and then you have a marker to play with, to sign your name or do other things. And again, for time, I'm not going to open it, but they just pour right out, and that's how I, oops, on here, got this pour. So I take this, so I won't open it, but we'll make believe, okay?
You know, don't those take longer to dry?
No, not necessarily. No. They're actually thinner.
I know that.
Yeah, not necessarily. Open, okay? I think what you're talking about, right? They make a what is it called? A paint called Open. So for my oil painters, sorry, I'm just not an oil painter, but you may want to try acrylic using Open because it just doesn't dry as fast. But you see, I'm kind of like things happening quick, and I like it to dry. And some people like that oil painting thing. And so I'll answer your question in 1 sec. And so basically what I did is I took one of these, I went up here, squeezed it out, and let it pour. Okay, so like I said, I'm demonstrating this, and I think Linda made a point of that in my classes. I go where it takes me. You know, I don't sit and plan, okay, I'm going to say A first, B second, C, because I have so much in my head that I just rather go where the spirit moves me, you know what I mean? And you get more like that, in my personal opinion. Okay, and you had a question.
Is that acrylic paint or ink?
No, it's acrylic paint, but it's called High Flow. It's thinner, yes. It's thinner. Okay, but time-wise, I have to start cutting because I'm trying to be good. And just to show you, oh, I did have a toothbrush. Okay, I'll show you the toothbrush. These are Prismacolor pens. They're nice to sign with. If this wasn't, oh, this isn't wet. Okay. I forget who's wet and who isn't. Okay. And that just really shows nicely on a nice dark color.
What kind of those get?
Prismacolor, and this is a Deco color. This is like, again, my go to Michael's and they're giving stuff away basically, and it's like, oh, I'll buy that. That'll fit somewhere, you know. But they stink, you guys. They really are smelly. And then seeing if I have a dry spot now. These are oil-based pastels. Unlike the Neo color, which moves oil, they're oil-based. These are not moving, okay? These are staying wherever you put them. Okay, so that's the difference. And so now, I'm gonna move this. And oh, other point, usually I'll tape my paper, but you notice that I did these round, you know, as ageless people remember how to do that, right? Because I wanted it painted out to the edge. Because now, okay. So now, my scissor. So basically, here we go. I'm just cutting this baby up, okay? And so you can get long, short, wide, thick, whatever you want. And I only brought one pair of scissors because obviously you see how much junk I bring. But you know, the scissors, who are my people who do like quilting and stuff that have all different edges. So did I, or any of these different edges? Now you see I'm lazy. I bring them and everybody else uses them in class. But so I'm cutting this up. I want to see if that fiber paste just it's dry. If that ever dries, I'll kind of paint on top of it. And then, because I like it staying together, I'll take, let's just take 3 of those there. I'm going to have to cut some more up. Okay, so I'm going to tape now. Let me take tape. Can you still say, Jackie? I'm going to take tape. Do I need to be higher up, you guys? No, it's good?
That's better.
Is that better? Yeah, kind of tell me, because I'm not looking at that, all right? So if I'm doing something that's not working, I only know if you kind of tell me. Okay, so I'm taking tape. And then too, if you want me, after I do this, to explain the 3 classes that are coming up, the one I think you guys would really like is the floral burst, that I can explain that one, because everyone begs for me to do that class. I'm taping the top because it's going to move otherwise. And then I'm cutting some more of these babies. And again, you will see this will create contrast, but you know, when you're painting this, you want to do contrast. And again, this was essentially a piece of paper laying around my studio with stuff on it because I always wipe my brushes. I knew that would be too wet to do this to. And then you're just weaving from my weavers. Over, under, over, under. Whoa! You want to push that down harder so it doesn't go anywhere. Over, under. And I will do questions too, you guys. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay, and then taking another piece, this one's under, so this one's gonna be over, under. And I do, when I'm teaching, I do direct instruction, you guys, and I do step by step. I have been to very famous people's classes who you sit there for 4 hours like I'm doing here. You're not painting, but this is a demo, so it's a little different. And then they go, okay, go ahead and paint. And it's like, really? Do I really remember anything you did? No. And so I believe step by step is very important. Okay, and we're gonna do more.
So you just do opposite.
Yeah, opposite each time. Now, oh, yes, like a basket. And we're gonna do more. I'm gonna show you. Last one here. Under, over, under, over. Okay, so let's say this is what I want to fit it on. Okay. And see, that looks horrendous on that. I tried doing this so that I would have something to put it on for you. But why does that look horrendous? The colors are not right. Okay, so scrap that, baby. Let's make believe we're gonna put it on a greeting card. Okay, and then I want to show you on the greeting card, say I use some of the extra paper on the, oops, sorry, on the envelope. Can you see that?
Okay.
Okay, so let's make believe we're doing it on a greeting card because I pre-did that thinking, oh, how cool would that be? It's not. And the thing is you have to be open to change too. You know, it didn't work. Oh, well. And so if I want this to now, whoops, fit on a greeting card, and let's, or that's better. So let's say I'm going to put it now on a white piece of paper to back, and then or you could take one of these colors and paint the background a solid color so it would work. And so you have to be able to what's the word? Punt, you know? So I'm moving these up and I'm tightening them. And then let's do it in this direction, I think. And so then I'm just getting creative there as to how I cut things. And again, you know, you see that I didn't cut things perfectly. Some of you are going to use a ruler and cut it exactly and measure it, and fine. You know, I don't care. That is just not me. You know, it's not who I am. I have done some very super realistic. I don't have it here, but it's actually at the dentist's office at, I can't remember my daughter's orthodontist, but I traded for orthodontist work. Yeah. So and she had it twice. And so, but I mean, the painting took me probably close to 100 hours. I mean, that's how detailed it is. And I just don't enjoy it. And so I do what brings me joy. You know, I don't have to do what I don't want to do, and neither do you. So let's see, let's go like this, and let's go like this. So again, it's what the spirit is going here. And so this is down here, but you know, I have all this white space. So maybe I'm going to put one, I'm not going to glue it on. I'm just, you know, giving you the sense. Maybe I'll put one of these here and one of these here. Maybe now I'll start saying, well, this would be fun. Putting that kind of, oh, it would be if I could get it under there, and having that color stick out just a little bit, you know? And do you see how the contrast and how much cooler this is cut up than it was as whatever I was wiping my brushes on? Okay. And you see that little bit of silver now. sticking out, the little bit of mica sticking out, you know? I could cut a little part, whoa, part out of this baby, you know, and I can start putting some hearts on there. I could then, again, use my, I'm gonna take this off for a minute, and then I'll put it on. I can use my toothbrush to get some more texture on there now that it's closed. Now I'm gonna put the white back on now so you can see better. I just don't want to get toothbrush all over this piece of paper, even though I just got paint on it. So then you're saying, okay, I did all this, but you know, Gail told me I want contrast and light against dark. And so that all looks the same over there. So what am I going to do? Well, once you've woven it, you can come back in and add. Are you seeing that? Adding deep, so you see how I popped that out? So just want to make sure it's not my husband. Do you want to be up here? No, it's not. It's Andrea. You know, all know Andrea, don't you? Martin? Yeah, that's my friend. And so, stop, Andrea. You know, I'm demoing. It'll stop in a second. So do you see how then I kind of popped into where that silver was?
Where you want to bring it out.
Right. So light, yes, I'm adjusting. Light against dark, light against dark. And now watch if I use a yellow and I glaze over. And so glazing is putting color over the top of another color that's there. And so you're sitting there going, oh, well, I liked it better when she didn't put that on. Well, then don't do that on yours. You know, it's like, so you see how I'm seeing, because there's gels and mediums on here, there's micas on here, and I really do want to see if that fiber paste is dry. Do you mind if I take a sip of this? Oh, shit, there you go. No, it didn't come out. Excuse my French. That was one of those,
And
okay.
how would you adhere that to your card?
Oh,
What
okay,
would you do?
okay. All right, so how I would adhere that to my card is you could use gel medium, you could use plain old glue. I would like something pH, or what works the best for me is double stick acid-free tape. Stick acid-free tape. So on that note, since we're after, which I'm fine with, if you're fine with, if Linda's fine with, I don't know if you have to be out of this room a certain time. I'm
No, 6 o'clock.
okay. Well, I'm not staying that long, but unless you feed me. But do you have any questions?
That's great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are really good.
Okay, so we're good and no questions. Okay. So again, if you'd like to purchase anything, I'm happy to do that. I'd love to see you at class. If you want to figure out a business of art Zoom, talk to Linda, because I think that would be a good Zoom class. And I'm gonna start cleaning up.
We haven't had business of art since COVID.
Right.